I know, you know, we know why. I know, you know, we know why. You feeling my baseline, feeling my baseline. You feeling my baseline, you feeling my baseline. I know, you know, we know why. I know, you know, we know why. You feeling my baseline, feeling my baseline. You feeling my baseline, you feeling my baseline. Feeling my baseline, feeling my baseline. Straight to your face, straight to your face. You feeling the vibes. Feeling my baseline, feeling my baseline. Straight to your face, straight to your face. You feeling the vibes. Money just changed like pesos. Man just changed for the bankroll. Funny how the crew so deep, everything so sweet, but we always feel alone. We always feel alone, and I ain't worried about a thing but a beat. Roll on the beat and you feeling this bass. Straight to the face, straight to the face. Walking so proud, I'm a king. Moving that body, you feeling that bass. I could just say that you're fake, I could just say that you're fake. You feeling my bass. You feeling my bass. Straight to the face, straight to the face. You feeling my bass. You feeling my bass. Bad girls, so what? Crew so deep, we can fall those. Everybody talking so, oh no. Loving my team while you fall close. Bad girls, so what? Crew so deep, we can fall those. Everybody talking so, oh no. Loving my team while you fall close. I know, you know, we know why. I know, you know, we know why. You feeling my baseline, feeling my baseline. You feeling my baseline, you feeling my baseline. I know, you know, we know why. I know, you know, we know why. You feeling my baseline, feeling my baseline. You feeling my baseline, you feeling my baseline. Everybody move to the bass, oh yeah, to the face. You hearing my music just change. You loving my pace. You feeling my bass, bass. Straight to the face, straight to the face. You feeling my bass, yeah. Bass so loud, got my whole team rocking the boat on your main thing. Who would've thought we got big dreams? Money just talking, I hear things. Bad girls, so what? Crew so deep, we can fall those. Everybody talking so, oh no. Loving my team while you fall close. I know, you know, we know why. I know, you know, we know why. You feeling my baseline, feeling my baseline. You feeling my baseline, you feeling my baseline. I know, you know, we know why. I know, you know, we know why. You feeling my baseline, feeling my baseline. You feeling my baseline, you feeling my baseline. Feeling my baseline, feeling my baseline. Straight to your face, straight to your face. You feeling the vibes. Feeling my baseline, feeling my baseline. Straight to your face, straight to your face. You feeling the vibes. Money just changed like pesos. Man just changed for the bankroll. Funny how the crew so deep, everything so sweet, but we always feel alone. We always feel alone, and I ain't worried about a thing but a beat. Roll on the beat and you feeling this bass. Straight to the face, straight to the face. Walking so proud, I'm a king. Moving that body, you feeling that bass. I could just say that you're fake, I could just say that you're fake. You feeling my bass. You feeling my bass. Straight to the face, straight to the face. You feeling my bass. You feeling my bass. Bad girls, so what? Crew so deep, we can fall those. Everybody talking so, oh no. Loving my team while you fall close. Bad girls, so what? Crew so deep, we can fall those. Everybody talking so, oh no. Loving my team while you fall close. I know, you know, we know why. I know, you know, we know why. You feeling my baseline, feeling my baseline. You feeling my baseline, you feeling my baseline. I know, you know, we know why. I know, you know.
What up? Welcome into SONTLive. You are watching That Being Said with George and Sammy Georgiou, Sports Radio Redefined. This is episode 328. We're getting up there. Today's episode is brought to you by Freshly. We're going to be talking about our NFL Week 15 picks, Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Patriots, LeBron and Lonzo, Carmelo returning to the Garden, etc., etc. But before we get to any of these and get to our sponsors, let's introduce ourselves. I'm one of your co-hosts here, and I am Sammy Georgiou.
And I'm George Georgiou, and we're coming at you live and direct from the SONTLive studios in sunny Everett, Washington. Thank you for tuning in today, whether it be on Facebook.com/SONTLive, my personal Periscope, G Georgiou, his personal Periscope, Georgiou Sammy, or YouTube.com/SONTLive Sports.
How you doing today, my friend?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. How you doing?
I'm doing great, and I'm going to give him a little word from our sponsors before we get moving here.
All right, man.
I want to tell you guys about Freshly. So that's fresh food, never frozen. If you're busy, not a lot of time to eat healthy, or cooking isn't for you, but you want to stay healthy and eat fit, or eat healthy and stay fit.
There we go.
Freshly makes eating healthy easy. It does all the meal prep, no shopping, no chopping, no cleanup, made with all natural ingredients. And it's really simple. You can just go to freshly.com, that's FRESHLY.com, and enter our exclusive promo code SONT, S-O-N-T, and you will get $40 off your first 2 orders, free shipping on every single one. That's 6 meals cooked by Freshly chefs for only $39. We have a mathematician on set today to tell us how much that is per meal.
$6.24.
Roughly.
Roughly.
That's like the equal sign with the squiggles.
Yeah,
Approximately. Which that's sometimes cheaper than a McDonald's meal.
Most of the time. I mean, especially when I go to McDonald's, when I'm getting a Big Mac, I'm getting a McChicken on the side, and usually I'm getting one more sandwich. So my McDonald's meals cost about $7.46 approximately. So this time you're going only under $7. You can't beat that, especially if you're trying to eat healthy and stay fit. Now, my real question to you, Sammy, did you purposely mess up the eat healthy, stay fit?
Yeah, today I did on purpose.
You did? Okay, I felt like you might have, because you kind of looked at me when you were saying it, and I kind of appreciated it.
You know, you got to do what you got to do sometimes and just keep it entertaining. So, it's really simple, George. It's their best offer yet, the best offer ever. So they can go to freshly.com and enter SONT at the checkout, and you'll get that $40 off your first 2 orders with the free shipping. Great holiday gift. Great time for you right after the holidays even to try it out, and when everybody's trying to lose weight. Also, a shout out of our own sponsor, our own website, SONTLive.com. That's SONTLive.com. We're posting articles every single day now. We have our brand new website, so go check that out. George looks confused over here. Something happened?
Yeah, they're saying my mic is not on or it doesn't sound right. Does that sound better? I just turned up the decibels.
Well, it's also super far from me.
Yeah, I mean, it might be the decibels as well, because yesterday we had that problem too where I couldn't. You're on the regular decibel and I have to turn it up all the way to 10. Tell me, guys, if that sound better.
Let them know. Number 1. Number 2, SONTLive.com. Go check it out. Or if you follow us here on Facebook, we post the articles. We'll go on Facebook every single day, and it's an instant article, so no load time from Facebook, which is awesome. Support us. Just go through the articles. A lot of them will have videos and stuff too, so even if you don't have a lot of time and you see an article, you can definitely just go on, check out a video, check out something funny. We're going to expand from just sports. We're going to be doing viral, funny stuff. Anything cool in this world. You know how we are at SONTLive. If you watched us before, you know we're not just about the sports world. If there's something in pop culture, we like to bring it up because we both have a feeling that politics, pop culture, and sports, music, and entertainment all mix together at times. So it never hurts to go check out SONTLive.com or check out our articles we're posting on our page. George just posted about an hour ago his 5 bets of the week, and I didn't give mine out on my show, and I posted a video on our page through the article. So either see that at SONTLive.com or through our articles, you'll see my bets of the week, and we can talk about them here. But absolutely. I think I covered everything. So go check out Freshly. Go check out SONTLive.com. And I'm going to go through a couple comments, and we'll get going.
All right. That sounds good to me, my man.
Johnny Michael says, both looking good. Sammy, I like the fade. Thank you. You know, everyone was complimenting George's fade yesterday. I was like, I need to get myself some haircuts. I already had one scheduled, but I knew I needed to do it. I appreciate it. Devin said Sant Brothers with the Friday fades, more like Freshly fades.
Ooh, I like that. The Freshly Fades Club.
Freshly Fades Club. Sign up with Freshly today.
Unfortunately, our barber doesn't let us use promo code Sant to get $40 off our first 2 purchases. But
that'd be nice to get a cheaper haircut. And then Johnny said your mic. Yes, it's better now.
Fantastic. And I'm just checking out. Yeah, so if you guys go to our page, it's Sammy's article is right underneath our video. So we pinned the video on the top of the page. You scroll down, you click Sammy's video, and it'll load directly into your Facebook browser. So you don't even have to leave Facebook, and you come right back in. Support the article. You'll love it. Sammy's a good writer. I'm a good writer. And we just enjoy giving out more fresh content, or as Devin Mark would say, freshly content.
Freshly content. And George, before we get going here, I'm going to ask you to do a favor. Your entire face is blocked by your mic on the screen. All right. So just scoot it down a little bit. You probably
who wants to see my face anyway?
I'd like to see it. It's right here in front of me. I like to see your face.
All right. Is that better?
There you go. If you guys can see George's face now, that'd be better. All right. What do you want to start with, my friend?
Well, I think we should start with let's briefly talk about LeBron and Lonzo's conversation yesterday before we move into the NFL, because after that, when we'll talk about Carmelo and Madison Square Garden's return very briefly as well. Spend a few minutes on this, and then just move on to our NFL, our meat sandwich, our bread and butter of Fridays.
I love it. And before I get going, I'm going to continue my 20-minute intro today. Also, for anybody watching on YouTube, Periscope, or Facebook, always remember we answer comments. So for those on Facebook or those on YouTube or Periscope, those things we were reading are the comments. We'll read your comments if you comment here or if you're on any of our platforms. So make sure
it's Sports Radio Redefined. Instead of calling in and waiting online and waiting for someone to answer you, we read the comments, and that's kind of like how the show works here. So we give you we'll give you our opinions. We'll kind of, barter back and forth, and then we go straight into the comments. So this is your opportunity to get your word out there, unlike most sports radio where you have to call and wait online, and then you might not even get on air.
Well said, my friend.
Yeah, of course.
All right. What do we got?
All right. Let's start off with the conversation between LeBron and Lonzo. Now, I thought it was very, very funny. I mean, the thing is, because I know, and if you heard, you saw on Reddit, someone actually was able to get a mic on the convo between LeBron and Lonzo, and LeBron says, I know the media is going to go crazy about this, or something along those lines. LeBron James is very media savvy. I think it's hilarious that he knew if he put his jersey above his mouth and whispered in his ear, the media was going to freak out. If he just talked like a normal face-to-face conversation, they'd probably say something, but they wouldn't have been like as, oh my God, what did he say? Is it a secret? He's not going to be like, I don't know what the media was expecting. Did they expect like LeBron to be like, hey, Lonzo, don't tell anyone. I'll see you next year in LA.
I'll tell you right now what he told him.
No, we know what he told him.
What?
You didn't see the Reddit post? There was a mic that actually caught exactly what they said, and now everyone knows. He told them, basically, I like what you're doing. Keep working hard. Block out all the distractions. It's all white noise and things like that. That's all he really said. If you go to Reddit.
I got the quotes.
Okay,
now.
Cool.
Well, actually, I didn't even read this yet, but what I was going to say that I knew he said, because in his post-game, I watched his whole post-game interview because I just said that, I'm LeBron's obsessor here. And so I listened to his 7-minute post-game interview last night in bed. And he was like, I don't really know what media's talking about. It's all white noise to me. He's like, I genuinely post Instagrams. I don't read the comments. He's like, I would lose hours a day if I read my comments, right? Which I believe that. Honestly, if I was getting 20,000 comments, I wouldn't be going through comments.
He probably sees a few of them.
From famous people, maybe when IT responds to him, or if Kevin Durant comments on his photo, I'm sure he sees it. I'm sure there's some special blue check life out there that I don't know about. Yep. But I was going to say, all he's telling him is, I understand the pressure you're going through, and just block out the noise and keep playing. You're a good baller. And I got the quotes now. Yeah. And he literally said, find your zone and just stay fucking locked in. James said on the court after pulling his jersey over his mouth, the media is going to ask you what I told you right now. Tell them nothing. Just be aggressive every single day. It's white noise to you. That's all it is. All right, let's go. So he was pretty much just being like a good guy and telling him. And I heard somebody in the post-game interview ask him, do you guys see similarities in your careers? And he goes, no. And then he smiles. And he's like, obviously he has a ton of media pressure, and that's exactly similar to me. So he's like, I didn't tell him anything, but obviously there's similarities. So I assumed it was.
No, yeah, I know, but it's just funny, the media right away. Okay, so LeBron whispered something to Lonzo. What did he say? He's obviously not going to be like, hey, Lonzo, see you next, right? He's not going to be like, I'll see you next year in LA, or, ooh, I'm going to join you, or, ooh, guess what? I'm not going to join. He's not going to give out a big secret on
where a teammate can hear him walk by, I'm coming to LA next year.
Yeah, I know.
What?
Oh my, what did he say? No, we knew what he was going to say something similar along those lines. But LeBron is very, very media savvy. Don't think for a minute that LeBron James doesn't know if he pulls his jersey over his mouth to whisper something that the media is going to eat it alive, and he knew that, and it's good. It's good for his brand. It's good for Lonzo's brand. It's good for just in general for the NBA, because the more media narrative, we're opening the show with this, not with the NFL. I mean, it's just good for the NBA. So I just think it's funny that the media was trying to decipher what he was saying, and you can predict, and you predicted without even reading it, even though I'd already read it, that like what he said.
I didn't know they picked up on a mic or anything. I literally was just like, obviously what he told them was, hey, block out the noise. I know what you're going through because I went through this.
You
just play
don't
basketball.
Spend as much time on Reddit as I do.
No, I do not. And I just been a busy day and we've been busy with website stuff all week. I just haven't been checking a lot of headlines. And so when I saw this now, it's like, oh, obviously that is what he said. And Devin just said, we'll never know what he said, honestly. I don't know if you heard the part I just said. They did pick it up on a camera. A user on Reddit posted it. And what he said one more time was, find your zone and just stay fucking locked in. He said, the media is going to ask you what I told you. Tell them nothing. Just be aggressive every single day. It's white noise to you. That's all it is. All right, let's go.
The most interesting part of that whole entire convo was what, Sammy?
They said, tell them nothing.
That the media is going to ask you what I say. He knows. Like, it's so smart. I love how media savvy he is. I really do like that. Like, some people are...
He's smarter than most.
There's LeBron James trying to get media attention again. And he is. And he should.
And still why he's the most talked about player in the NBA at year 15.
You should. Like most players would like media attention. It's good for their brand. You sell more shoes. You get on the news more. Your face is around more. Like, it is important. So people are hating on LeBron. I know a lot of people are like, oh, LeBron James is trying to get media attention. No shit, Sherlock. Of course he wants media attention. That's what you should want. I want media attention. You want media attention. You want attention. If you're a brand, you're a celebrity, you're a person, you're a business, what do you want? You want eyeballs. You want more people talking about you, and that's what LeBron did, and I like it.
I love it too. I think it's cool. And not for a minute did I think he said anything about LA or like we'll play together one day. Like, as much as I tell you like, oh, he's not thinking about the future, I do believe that he's not thinking about the future in the sense of like decision-wise. Right. Sure, maybe he was like, hey, I'd consider LA or I'd consider going to New York or Houston, whatever, in his head. But genuinely, like, he's trying to become the best player of all time, right?
Right.
He's trying to become the undebated greatest of all time. I'm pretty sure he's focused on this year and trying to win a championship. And the last thing he's doing is trying to, like, pick and play around with, like, a rookie in Lonzo ball and be like, I might come to you. Like, you better play good or I might be in LA. Yeah, he might consider LA as an option. I get that, but definitely not sitting there and right now, like every night, like, am I leaving next year? Like, no, he's pretty focused probably on winning a championship this year.
Right, and last but not least, what I want to say also is the one thing, like, LeBron it also does differently than the other, like, Jordan and Kobe especially, is try to be, like, a mentor to these players. Kobe's done it after his career, but during his career, Kobe wouldn't ever probably whisper anything to anyone because he has, like, this complexity where he wants to kill everyone, and same with Michael Jordan. And it's just a different way of doing things. It's a different way of being a great player. It's a different way of being a leader. And it's good. I mean, you just don't want photocopies of each and every person. And that's why, like, for me, you know, I think Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time and the best of all time. And you say LeBron, and that's fine. But one thing I do like is that they're different. I like seeing different good things. Like, I love a great steak, but I also love a great salmon. And they're different foods and they're different occasions. And I like red wine and I like white wine. You know, I like LeBron James and I like Michael Jordan. Like, you can like both, and you can like their styles and the way they handle themselves towards other players in the NBA.
See, I feel like I'm more of a fan of the LeBron way now. I don't think I would have done it, like, to be honest. I'm more of a fan of it. But personally, I'd probably be more like Kobe and LeBron, like, or Kobe and Jordan, be like, fuck everyone. Like, I'm trying to be better than you. I hope you never are all better than me because I'm ultra competitive. I'm not saying LeBron's not ultra competitive, but I like what LeBron does more. And even Kobe,
he's done it after his career.
Yeah, but he did it during his career, but I think more privately.
Yeah, maybe.
Like,
I don't know.
No, because during his last couple of years, Isaiah Thomas and Gordon Hayward and a bunch of these guys said,
towards the end of his career. But I'm just talking about in the prime when he was still competing for championships.
True, but then again, don't forget who became really close friends during the U.S. Olympics run. Kobe and LeBron.
Yeah, but Kobe does it like a snake. He does it to like. That's how I feel. I think Kobe like tries to like butter people up. I don't know.
I don't think so with that, because if you watch that like USA basketball documentary, like Kobe was talking about how fun it was to hang out with LeBron and like so good to get to know him. I think in Kobe's case at that time too, he knew by the time he's out of the league is when it will start being LeBron's time. It's not necessarily he's not the same age as LeBron where like they're gonna compete at that level for forever. But yeah, you've seen LeBron do this whole career. He tried to be like a mentor to KD until KD, like, I feel like at some point was like, I don't want a mentor anymore from the guy I'm trying to beat.
I have a reason why this happens, by the way.
Why?
In my opinion. Look, it's changed a lot. Like, first of all, Kobe Bryant grew up basically where? In Italy, when he came into the United States as a high schooler, and then he played high school basketball. Michael Jordan made it to the NBA through high school, then college, and whatever. LeBron James and this generation come through the AAU circuit, where they play with multiple teams and they're on the circuit. They get to know each other from a young age, and I feel like it's more of a brotherhood now than it was back then.
I definitely see that.
Yeah.
And more people now talk about the brotherhood. And like you said, with the AAU circuit, a lot of these guys played on these like national teams. Like Kevin Love and Isaiah Thomas lived in different states, and they played on the same AAU
exactly,
because they're like the Northwest like all-star team pretty much, right? So it's like it's just one of those situations now where I feel like everyone's connected in a weird way. Yeah, like Boston and Cleveland were rivals last year, let's say in the East, right? I'm not saying they were real rivals because I think the only real rivalry right now is like Golden State Cleveland, because the only teams that really had a chance.
Yep.
But like the Eastern rivalry was the Celtics and the Cavs. Right. And obviously LeBron and Isaiah had a fine relationship. Kevin Love and Isaiah have been friends since they were kids. So it's like, yeah, as much as they want to beat up on each other, like you said, it's becoming more and more of a brotherhood. There's so many players in the NBA now that were like the 5 superstars that went to Kentucky for 1 year and then left, and they're friends.
At like 14, you knew like, oh, these 4 guys are going to be in the NBA. They're playing this AAU tournament together, and they get to know each other, and they have the same agent, and they have the same shoe deal, and they have the same AAU guy in the Worldwide West, whatever his name is around, and like they get to know each other a lot more now than it used to be. Like Michael Jordan probably played high school basketball in North Carolina and had no idea who David Robinson was
at all.
Yeah.
And they're different eras. I mean, 5 years apart. I'm just throwing names. He had no idea who, I don't know, who else came. Clyde Drexler from the University of Houston was. He knew who he was because he watched basketball, but he probably had no relationship with Clyde Drexler. I agree.
Yeah.
But it's just how times change. And on top of that with social media and stuff, like LeBron could have been following Ben Simmons for the last 5 years. Like,
right. Because social media is a whole nother ball game that...
But that's like, I'm sure that's how Ben Simmons and LeBron became like friends previous to him even being in the NBA. It's like, I'm sure social media wise, he was like, I got to go check this guy out. When I met him, almost, that whole craze pretty much started when like LeBron and D Wade went to Davidson to watch Steph Curry and stuff. Then it started becoming a cool thing.
But see, Ben Simmons might not have this as much as LeBron does, because Ben Simmons also grew up in Australia. So he might not have this like same like bond as other guys might. I don't know.
I disagree only because of the sense that he signed with Clutch Sports.
That's
and I feel like
point,
that's just like the ultimate like brotherhood thing where you have LeBron posting about like Caldwell Pope and about this guy and about that guy and about that guy. And when they have the same agents like that, especially with through LeBron's people and Rich Paul, that is also like another little brotherhood in itself.
Right.
So it's interesting.
And Devin wanted to know if Kobe grew up in Italy. I don't know how many years he spent in Italy, but he did spend time in Italy because his dad played professional basketball there.
Kobe Bryant was born in Philly, named after a Japanese steakhouse. After his dad, Joe Jellybean Bryant, ended his NBA career in 1984, so that's when Kobe was 6, the elder Bryant took the family to Italy. So he lived there for 5 years.
Okay, yeah, I mean, those are formative years.
Yeah, from like age 6 to like 12.
Devin says 7 years.
I don't know.
I don't know, but yeah.
Kobe was 5 years old when he moved to Italy. They stayed there for 8 more years.
8 more years, yeah. So he learned Italian. He grew up in a different culture. He didn't play AAU probably.
Like he came in like almost at the end of middle school,
right,
to America, where like that's a whole different lifestyle.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. That's why Kobe's so well spoken and so well like different. He's a different cat because he grew up with Europeans.
Yeah, it's a whole different level of stuff.
Right.
And last but not least, before we move on, I did want to, because we were talking about Lonzo and LeBron.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Another day, another LeBron performance that I just have to talk about. LeBron, once again last night, went 25, 12 rebounds, 12 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals in 39 minutes. I love it because, of course, we went 8 for 12 from the free throw line, shooting a lot better there. His game just keeps evolving, which is ridiculous. But I know Tyronn Lue early in the year was like, don't worry about LeBron's minutes, because he's like, he knows what he's doing. But is it getting too much having LeBron play 40 minutes a game?
He shouldn't be playing 40 minutes a game, I'll tell you that much.
Right?
I don't know. Yeah. Like, LeBron knows his body better than I do. I'm not going to judge it. But, like, it doesn't make sense, like, in theory.
It doesn't. But I love this LeBron James we're seeing. He's averaging 28 a game, 9 assists, 8 rebounds on 41% from 3, 57 from the field goal range on only 18 shots, which is pretty damn good. 28 points on 18 shots. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see how much longer he can keep this up. I gotta tell you though, Dr. Cho 2 says LeBron flops too much, so I don't know what you have to say to that. What I have to say to that is everyone in the NBA flops, to be honest. Yeah. But honestly, I think LeBron did more flopping 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He hasn't really. I feel like this could be me, but like, and I defend LeBron a lot, but I've always said he obviously did flop. But I feel like recently he hasn't been flopping as much.
I don't know if that's true or not, Sammy, but I do know that people aren't worried about flops as much anymore because everyone flops.
Yeah, it doesn't really make a difference if you flop or not.
No difference.
You're actually like the anomaly if you don't flop. And
absolutely.
To be honest, I'm a huge fan of flopping because
I know you are.
Well, if you can get a foul call, James Harden wouldn't be James Harden if he couldn't get to the line 20 times a game.
It's the referee's job to
detect it or not.
If it was a flop or not.
It's not the
player's job. If the player can fool the referee, that's part of the human element of the game.
Yeah, and that should be a plus side on your end.
All right, we got a bunch of comments, huh?
Devin said that conversation has a lot of similarity between the conversation KD had with Steph at the end of the Western Conference Finals a couple years ago.
I'm telling you.
Except for we know the difference between what they said now because KD actually was talking about, I'm coming. And
I'm sure he did not say that.
No, but they had a phone call. Draymond Green called him after a goddamn finals game. That's ridiculous.
In the car.
Yeah, but that's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
I feel like even as the guy I am, as much as I would be fine with recruiting in the NBA, I don't know if after I lost NBA Finals, I would have taken the time to call somebody to be like...
I'd be too pissy.
Yeah, wouldn't you be too angry? Like, I don't want to fucking talk to you, Kevin. Like, I would just
I'm so mad. I'm like, fuck, I gotta win. Fuck, Kevin!
Like,
Kevin!
This fucking LeBron guy just came back from 3-1. Come to us.
Kevin, are you going to come to Golden State? I'm not sure. If you don't come, I'm going to fucking kill you, is what Draymond said. And he's like, I swear to God, your life is in danger if you don't come. All right, I'm coming.
I don't know. I would be kind of scared of Russell Westbrook, too, if that guy has a motor on him.
That guy has a motor on him, but he's a really nice guy.
Yeah. I think Draymond's a really nice guy, too, though.
I'm sure Draymond's a great guy, but Draymond's scarier.
Devin said, I fucking love LeBron. I agree. Devin said, I think it's just ironic because it looked like the time when KD and Curry had the little on-the-court whisper. He said, Michael didn't want to pass the sauce. That's why I respect Kobe over Michael, which is true. He said, I heard Kobe mentored T-Mac a little while they were both playing. You know who else didn't pass the sauce? Who?
The Colonel. Kentucky Fried Chicken don't pass the sauce. I don't know the recipe. No one does.
He probably does pass sauce because when he died, the sauce is still available.
Yeah, but it's only available to KFC people. And I still love Kentucky Fried Chicken. But I'm more of a Popeye. I'm more of a Zell's Chicken guy here in Seattle. But that's a different conversation.
Yeah, I don't eat KFC anyways. So I can't really tell you about the sauce. Devin said it was 7 years. He moved back in 91. He said LeBron's the MVP. If it's not, it's definitely Harden this year. He said Draymond to Katie, yo, what did I say? You're coming to the Bay or not? Straight up. That's pretty much the conversation. And he was like, fine, I'll come. Yeah. But in regards to the Harden thing, Harden is making, as much as I am a LeBron defender, Harden makes his case pretty good, too, about being MVP. Like, this is the one time I thought the whole triple-double thing with Westbrook was a little overblown last year, and I still think it should have been Harden or LeBron. because I think there's different levels of triple doubles too. Like there's triple doubles like Russell Westbrook had last year, which I think were forced triple doubles.
He was trying to get a triple double,
but like I don't feel like James Harden had a lot of triple doubles last year when he had 17 assists and like 10 rebounds, but there's not video proof of people clearing out the way for James Harden to get a rebound. Or I think when LeBron averages 28, 9, and 8, that's not like, oh, I need to get that up to 9 assists. Like he genuinely,
really,
well, that's the point.
You know?
Like, but I think that hurt Westbrook's efficiency, which people didn't realize.
Right.
And that
we realized.
Well, we realized, but that's why I thought still should have been LeBron. Like, I'm not trying to just say like, oh, LeBron triple double is more valuable than the Westbrook one, but I feel like Westbrook's were definitely more calculated last year.
Absolutely.
But Harden's making his case, so do not sleep on that. I mean, James Harden, he's leading the league in points. He's second in assists, and he's averaging 5 rebounds. 31.6, 9.4, and 5.1. Mm-hmm. That's a hell of a year so far.
Absolutely. And
his turnovers are down to 4 a game, where same as LeBron's. And last year, I think he was at like 7 a game.
Yeah, no, that's the one thing. He's playing a lot more efficient. But I kind of just want to quickly, before we get into the NFL, because we got a lot of NFL to talk about, I want to talk about Carmelo going back to the Garden tomorrow.
I'm in.
All right. Does he get booed or does he not get booed? I say he does not get booed. I say the opposite. I say he gets a standing ovation.
I don't know. Paul George got booed in Indiana, but he forced himself out.
And so did Carmelo in a way, but I was saying on my show.
But the force started from Phil.
Yeah, like Carmelo's like, I want to stay in New York. I want to stay in New York. And like, we want you out of New York. He's like, no, I'm staying in New York.
And then he was like, fine, trade me.
Fine, trade me. And that was what happened.
Yeah, where Paul George was like, trade me. I'm
Right.
leaving if you don't trade me.
Like Carmelo probably will live in New York the rest of his life or LA.
Yes. And not staying in OKC next year.
No. Well, he has one more year left on his contract, right? So he might
Yeah.
have to stay.
Well, the only way those guys all stay together is if there's a major turnaround. I'm giving them a week or two into January because I think that's when you really start kicking up. If they start playing a lot better, they have a chance of staying. But in regards to New York, I think he does not get booed either. Because first of all, he was one of the only big free agents in a long time to go sign in New York.
Well, he got traded to New York.
Okay, but that was like, I'm going to New York or trade me there. Right? Like, I mean, didn't he say pretty much like, I want to go to New York or I'm going to leave there in free agency?
Yeah, and he should have just waited. They had a really stacked roster, and they had to gut the roster to go get him. If he really was he could have waited 6 months and just finished the season in Denver. But
Where you weren't that bad in Denver either.
Yeah, but I mean, that's Carmelo Anthony for you. And I was saying, like, the thing with Carmelo, like, for them, they're not going to boo him. First of all, Carmelo's run in New York was, I mean, okay. I mean, they made
subpar, I'd say.
Yeah, it was okay. Like, they made the playoffs a few times and didn't do much. But he wasn't really the problem. He wasn't the solution either. But he wasn't surrounded by good management, good coaching, or good players. The only player he had was a hurt Amari Stoudemire, who never really made it. And he was never really that big-time solution that New York thought he would be. But he was never really the issue with the New York Knicks.
Huh. Yeah. I say he's part of the issue, though. I wouldn't say – I know what you're saying. You're saying he's not, like – it didn't start and end with him. Like, he wasn't the solution and he wasn't the full problem either.
Right. He was just a good scorer and a fun player who was from the New York area that played for the Knicks.
Yeah. Here's my theory with it. If they put the right pieces around them, they definitely have been more of playoff contenders every year. But also, because of him, where I'm saying he's not the full problem, but because of him, as we're seeing now – I mean, this Thunder team with – I'm not trying to pin this all on Carmelo with the Thunder.
Absolutely.
But they were a playoff team last year that were winning some games with Russell Westbrook dominating.
True.
And you added Paul George and Carmelo. I've seen Paul George win by himself. I've seen Russell Westbrook win by himself and with people. He's won with Kevin Durant. As much as people want to say he can't play with people, I'm sorry, but they went to the Western Conference Finals the year before. They should have beat the Warriors, the greatest record team of all time.
They should have.
And he had a 3-time scoring champion, Durant, on his team. So I can't say the problem's Westbrook or Paul George. And then if I eliminate by process of elimination, it's not Steven Adams. It has to be Carmelo Anthony. And I think it's because he doesn't want to find the right role for himself in the NBA. He can't play defense. And if he's not putting up 30 shots a game, he's not going to be knocking down as many as we really think. He's not that efficient.
Yeah, I'm going to be a little less harsh on him. He's not the problem in OKC. I think the problem is with the construction of the team. I mean, when you're going to construct the team with three guys, like I said before the season, there's one ball, and these guys are three guys who need the ball in their hands to create.
Yeah, but it's going to work.
It's not.
It is. They're the 8th seed right now.
What's work? I guess before I say no,
I would say they're going to end up in the top 5. I think they'll go past Portland, Denver, New Orleans. They'll be like the 5th seed. They're one game out of the 5th seed.
Yeah, I know, but I just think they'll be around the 7th or 8th seed. I think they make the playoffs. Is that working, or is that just they made the playoffs? That's really.
If they get past the first round, they didn't make the first round last. They didn't get past the first round.
Okay, if they make it past the first round, say it worked.
What I'd love to see. Well, it depends. If they get the 6th seed, there's a chance. I could see them beating a Spurs or a Timberwolves in a round. I know the Spurs. I don't think they're gonna outcoach them or anything, but I think just athletically they could probably shock them. I mean, we've seen the Spurs have letdowns like against the Clippers team, right? Where the Clippers were young and athletic, and it was tough for them, and they couldn't slow them down because they're not slowing down that team. But I would love, which they won't get out of the first round, but if they slip into that 7 seed, I think the Rockets are getting the 1 seed. They got a 2-game lead on the Warriors right now. They've won 11 straight. I just feel like that team is going to be hot all season. I don't think they're going to win the championship, but I think they're going to be a hot regular season team. Okay. And the Warriors, I don't think are concerned about the 1 seed as they were last couple of years.
No, but I think they'd like the 1 seed because Oracle's a hard place to play.
Yeah, and if but either way, if you're the Warriors at 1 or 2 or the Rockets, right now they'd be either the Pelicans or the Thunder. Either fucking way, that's a tough ass first round.
Well, the whole West is tough.
Yeah, well, it's really interesting actually. After the 8 seed, it kind of makes sense. So you hear this out. You have the Rockets, the Warriors, the Spurs, the Timberwolves, the Nuggets, Blazers, Pelicans, Thunder. And then from there on, the rest of it makes sense. Jazz, Clippers, Lakers, Kings, Suns, Grizzlies, Mavericks. The only one I don't get necessarily is the Grizzlies.
And the Clippers.
Well, they lost Blake Griffin.
Yeah, they
and
did.
Gallinari and Patrick Beverly. It's like DeAndre Jordan now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I thought they were going to be really good, but they had to stay healthy. But the one I didn't get was the Grizzlies.
They're not healthy either.
They're not healthy either, but I think they fired Fizdale way too early. They've lost 5 straight since even after firing Fizdale, where they acted like he was the problem. But when you have Gasol getting hurt and Conley getting hurt, your 2 best players, your franchise guys, that's what's going to happen. So I'm not too shocked about that. But the 8 teams that are in there are the only 8 good teams. And
I know.
It's going to be really hard any matchup. Like right now we'd have Rockets, Thunder, Pelicans, Warriors, Spurs, Blazers, and Nuggets, Timberwolves. Like that's a hell of a first round.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I mean, it all makes sense to me. Should we go through any? Devin says he thinks he gets both boos and applause.
And he was telling me though, they also went to the finals. Like I was saying, they went to the Western Conference Finals. Right. Like they went to a finals with Harden and Durant. That's why I can't pinpoint those on Russ Westbrook.
Yeah, but sometimes you learn bad habits when you play by yourself, and maybe Russell learned some really bad habits last year. Maybe still he's leading the league in assists. I mean, yeah, I know, but his usage rate is so high. He should lead the league in assists.
No, he shouldn't. Chris Paul or James Harden or.
He's a great player. I have no problem with Russell Westbrook. I just think you need to surround Russell Westbrook with the right players to be successful. I don't think Paul George and Carmelo Anthony are necessarily the type of players you need to surround Russell Westbrook with to be successful.
I'm pinpointing it on Carmelo. Devin said, I have to agree with George considering the fact that all 3 lead the league in the worst field goal percentage. That's tough.
That's bad.
But once again, this is why I think I would be extremely shocked if those 3 people all have the worst field goal percentages. Like Paul George in Indiana went 2 for like 17. Eventually, some of their shots are going to go down.
Right.
If they get a hot streak, they can definitely beat any team in the NBA if they got hot. We saw them, like that one game against the Warriors where they got hot together. They all were hot. Like that's how dangerous they can be. But then again, that's not a formula for success like that every game for them.
I think we know in the NBA, it takes certain types of players that are stars to mesh together.
I agree. And they're probably not that formula, right?
No, it doesn't seem like they are.
Devin said their offense is not in rhythm. And Tyler sounds like he's agreeing with me. He said, mark my words, OKC is going to shock some people still. I feel the same way. I
want them to because it's better for the NBA if you got star power in the playoffs. So,
yeah.
It's just better.
But I wouldn't mind if they got hot just at playoff time and it was like the Warriors Thunder first round. Yeah. That would be a fun matchup because they can. Steven Adams hurts the Warriors.
Yeah, and Russell Westbrook would like to hurt Durant.
Yeah, and I think some players it's bad when they get too much hype. You know, when they're like too hyper focused and emotional. But I think with Westbrook against Durant, like that one game against the Warriors, I know it's just a stupid regular season game, but you can see how much like that whole team was like, we need to fucking beat this team.
Exactly,
and they did.
And they did.
And Curry can't guard anyone on that team. No. But on the flip side, Carmelo can't guard anybody. But Paul George is a good defender. And
Paul George is a very good defender.
Russ Westbrook's athletic as fuck.
Yeah, but Paul George has not been as good defensively this year as he's still. I don't know if he's the system or what it is. I have no idea. But hopefully.
Go ahead.
Hopefully they get it turned around because it'd be good for the NBA.
Yeah, I agree. And Tyler says OKC is a bad matchup for the Warriors. I agree. That's why I'm saying I'd love to see that. One more thing before we get to the NFL. Mm-hmm. I don't want to. You're not trading Paul George, probably, right now.
You might be if you're not making it work. You might trade him and get out.
If you get the right package, but who's going to give him the right package?
The Lakers
or the Cavs?
I
heard Chris Broussard was talking about this. He said the most likely landing spot if they wanted to trade him would probably be the Cavs because first of all, the Lakers probably wouldn't offer anything because they don't want to give up young assets for a guy that they think they can convince to come in free agency, and the Cavs are the only team that would be probably willing to give him draft picks for a 6-month rental, and nobody else would be willing to give that for 6. Because I mean, what were the Bucks going to do it, and then they know they're going to lose him, right?
Right.
So that would be interesting, but I don't think they're going to trade either one of them. And if it passes the trade deadline, it's still choppy. I think one of the pinpoints is going to end up being Billy Donovan as the coach. If you can't send off the players, what's the next option?
Send off the coach.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Donovan, Kevin Durant made it sound like he's not very player
friendly. He's a college coach, trying to charade as an NBA coach.
Yeah, I agree. That's all I had.
Well, fantastic. All right, so let's get to some NFL action, Sammy. I think we should go. Should we do the usual? Go game by game, talk about it for a moment, and then we'll just give out our 5 gambling picks.
Yeah, and just stop me on a game if it is one of your gambling picks.
Yeah,
how about that? All right. So we are going to start. By the way, just
checking my Periscope as well.
I'm gonna start with this. I have nothing to say about Thursday Night Football, Denver at Indianapolis.
Oh, really? You have nothing to say about that game?
Here's
what I have to say about it. I have one thing to say.
Trevor Siemian's out.
I mean, if you watch that game, more power to you. Really, like you're a better sports fanatic than me.
I watched parts at a barbershop because it was on the TV. But if you sat down without
that's what I mean. Like unless you're a Broncos fan or a Colts fan, there's no reason to watch. Yeah,
because if you're a fan of one of the teams, fair game.
Yeah,
I watch every game.
And if you're like married or something and have like kids, yesterday would have been a perfect day to take them Christmas shopping or do some Christmas activity.
But a huge plus side to yesterday. Did you see Brock Osweiler's stats?
I didn't see them, but I heard he was fantastic.
Get this. I just saw this, by the way.
Against the stout Colts defense.
This is improvising, but Brock Osweiler, the GOAT, from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Really, he's from Coeur d'Alene.
Just found that out also. I'm improvising here. From Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. If you guys aren't from the Northwest, you probably don't really know Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
I like Brock Osweiler a lot more now.
He went 12 for 17.
Okay.
194 passing yards. That's 70% completion percentage, which is not very much like him. He's averaging 50 the last 5 games. He 11 yards per pass.
Pretty good.
2 touchdowns, no picks, 147 quarterback rating, 3 rushes for 17 yards and a touchdown.
Well, good job to Brock Osweiler. Congratulations. Those are the best stats you'll probably ever put up in your career. You had your career game on a Thursday night game that no one was watching. So congratulations to you, and congratulations to all the fine folks in Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be seeing the...
That's why Brock Osweiler has a new nickname from me now.
Huh.
Coeur d'Alene's finest.
That's just offensive to Coeur d'Alene. He's not their finest.
Name another guy from Coeur d'Alene.
Jim Bob. Jim. I'm sure there's a Jim there that golfs. That's a pretty nice guy.
Brock
Shout out to
Osweiler,
Jim.
Coeur d'Alene's finest.
George, we have Saturday games tomorrow.
Yes, we do.
You have the first game is Chicago at Detroit.
All right. Well, it's not one of my bets, but I like the Lions here, and the Lions have a sneaky opportunity here to finish out the season 10-6 and make the playoffs.
I could see this Lions team blowing this game at home.
Yeah, this is the type. I mean, if there's any team that can blow a game like this, which I'm not saying the Bears are that bad, I'm with you. It's the Lions.
Well, and Mitch Trubisky's starting to play better. This team's starting to kick it up a little bit, which was my point that John Fox is not going to get fired.
He will get fired after the season.
I don't think so. Mitch Trubisky's starting to play better. I'm really not a fan of firing coaches. I think I talked about this on my show with JC today, like the whole Hugh Jackson deal, right? Don't bring in a guy to a bad situation and then fire him because the situation's still bad a year or two out. You got to give coaches some time. I think John Fox is proving that he's doing a lot better job than most people expected them to do.
Yes.
The only reason I could agree with you that they fire him is if they see the situations in in LA, where they're like, Jared Goff looked not that good last year, then they got an offensive coach.
That's the only reason they're going to fire him, not because he's a bad coach, in my opinion.
It'll be interesting to see what happens.
And there's some veteran teams that can use a coach like John Fox.
Yes, that would be.
He's a good coach. I just don't think he's the right fit for this Chicago Bears team. But
I could see that. Yeah. Like if John Fox was in Sandy, or God, I keep just saying the Chargers, probably better than Vance Joseph, or whatever his name is.
Absolutely.
Is it Vance Joseph, or is that the Broncos coach? I forgot.
He's Lynn.
That's Anthony Lynn.
Anthony Lynn, yeah.
There it is.
He's for sure better than Vance Joseph, John Fox, he's a coach in Denver, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to take Detroit in this game if I really have to get into my head, but I could see them blowing this game. I don't think they're going to I think they're going to miss the playoffs by a game or so. There's a lot better teams that are in that race, I feel like.
Absolutely.
Maybe the game of the week, to be honest, one of the games of the week. It's probably not the game of the week. It's top 3, I'd say, top 4.
10 games
I'd say there's 4. This is one of my, actually 5. I'm going to say this is one of my 5.
Actually 6.
But the best Saturday game at 5:25 that I'll not be watching because I'll be watching George marry his good friend Daniel is the Chargers at the Chiefs. What a game.
Yep, and me and Sammy both have this as one of our gambling picks, which if you go to SONTLive.com or go to our Facebook page, click the link and read the articles, you have already known that. But me and Sammy both like the Chargers here. Sammy, I don't know if you heard what I said on my show. The Chargers have the best plus differential between sacks given up and sacks. They've actually sacked the opposing quarterback at plus 23, while the Chiefs are at -9. It's a 32 sack differential between both teams. So in other words, you have why is that important to me in this game? The Chiefs can't protect the quarterback that well. And there's no team better in the NFL at getting to the quarterback than the Chargers.
I like that. It's true. You have Bosa and Ingram, and they just cause havoc.
Yeah.
And I think outside of Jacksonville, maybe it's the best situation there. Mm-hmm. But I would say Jacksonville's probably a slightly better situation, but it's
they're both.
It's probably the second best.
The two best defense. Two best pass rushes in the NFL are Jacksonville and Los Angeles.
I agree with you there. All right.
Or as they say, Saxonville.
Saxonville Jaguars. Next up, we're going into Sunday. And like George said, it is one of my bets also. Pick them. I would have taken even as 1 point or 2 point favorites. I don't know about 3, I don't know about 3.5. But
yeah, I take 3, but not 3.
I take 3, but not 3.5 also, yeah. Another one of my 5 games of the week that I bet on also, and I think George did too, is Miami at Buffalo.
Yeah, I did. Sam, you want to say why? I'll let you get the floor on this one.
Miami +3 at Buffalo. A few things. Miami's playing a lot better. Their offense is starting to click. Jay Cutler likes big games. I know there's a lot of Jay Cutler haters out there in this world, but Jay Cutler likes big games. Mm-hmm. He's played in cold weather in Chicago, so he's fine in Buffalo. Tyrod Taylor's coming off injury. And I'm not saying that Peterman's a better option for the Bills, but I think coming off a knee injury, Tyrod Taylor's going to be a little less mobile.
Yeah, that's how
They just came off that snow game. The legs are probably still sore from that game because it's hard to run in that snow. It was such a overtime fun win. I just feel like this is the week they let down and allow the Dolphins to tie them. And I think the Dolphins have playoff aspirations. Yep. I think they win their next 3 because they play Buffalo again in Miami.
Yep.
And I think Buffalo has to go play New England. Their sights are not looking too good, but I'm going to take Miami in this game. +3. I like getting 3 points. because I think they're going to win. And if they don't, I could see them losing by a field goal and you get a push.
Yep, I'm with Sammy.
All right, Baltimore.
Yeah, that's funny. The things that you just said were the same things I said on my show. That people are going to say Jay Cutler on the road in cold weather, a Miami team going to cold weather. Well, Jay Cutler played in Chicago. He's used to cold weather. Plus,
and I'm worried about the quarterback.
Yeah, and the Lions. You saw Kenyon Drake run the ball last week for the Dolphins, not the Lions, the Dolphins. They can run the ball. They're going to control the ball on the ground.
If it was snowing like it was last week, I might have different thoughts. But it's not that.
It's going to be 27 and sunny.
Yeah, it's not that like ridiculous of weather conditions. Mm-hmm. Honestly, if I were to know that there was going to be weather like last week, I would never bet on a game like that because you saw that Buffalo game. It was 7. I think it was 7-0 most of the game, then 7-7 at the end of the game, and then they scored with 1 minute left overtime. It was practically almost a tie. If LaShawn McCoy didn't break out for a big run, it might have been a tie game.
Yeah, because that field goals are going to be very hard to make.
Yeah, Vinatieri barely figured out how to kick, and he's maybe the best kicker of all time.
Right.
Baltimore at Cleveland. I'm going to take Baltimore in this game. I know there must be a point where Cleveland wins a game, but I don't think it's going to be this. I think Baltimore's getting hot right now with their defense, and they're not scoring on Baltimore.
Yeah, we know that DeShone Kizer likes to turn over the ball, right?
He loves throwing it to the other team.
Yeah, Baltimore really loves taking it from the other team.
Yes, sir. You're with me on this, sounds like. All right.
100%.
Moving on. Cincinnati at Minnesota. Now, I bet against Cincinnati last week because I told you I thought they knew that their season was kind of over after last week, and it was going to be just one of those letdown games against the Bears. I got that win. I don't feel the same way this week. I think the Vikings are not going to lose 2 in a row. They know they have a number 1 seed on the line. It's at Minnesota. Case Keenum threw 2 picks last week. I think he'll play a little better this week. Not as good of a defense. I like this Vikings team. I'm not betting on this game, but I'm just going to take the Vikings.
Yeah, and the Bengals don't have much to play for anymore. Marvin Lewis, I don't know if he's going to come back next year. He probably shouldn't at this point. But then again, I just don't like this Bengals. Just give me the Vikings. I don't got much to say on this one, Sammy. Give me the Vikings.
I know you have this. I know you had something to say about this game, though. The New York Jets at the New Orleans Saints.
I did.
Yeah, I heard you say something about it.
The only thing I said about the New York Jets and the New Orleans Saints is this line was at 17 points. I don't know if it still is. You know when was the last time, Sammy, the Jets were 17-point underdogs?
2004.
I don't know the year, but the last game that Bryce Petty started.
Oh,
yeah.
That was like 2016.
So they've been 17-point underdogs only when Bryce Petty is the quarterback. So Saints will win. I don't know if they win by 17 or not, but they'll win. Yeah,
and I think I'm with you on that. They just lost a quarterback for the year. It's going to be a letdown. And I'd never bet on a 17-point spread. I don't know how confident I'd have to be in the NFL. College maybe, but in the NFL, I
love it in college. Sometimes it's like 17, this team's good. College just has scores, like 45-6.
Well, I remember I took Akron championship weekend. Like it was like they were plus like 23, and I was like, okay, they're not good compared to the team they're playing. They're playing Toledo.
They were down.
Barely covered, but I said no team's going to lose their championship game by like 30. So I ended up being right. They were down like 37-0, and I was like, fuck. But as I said.
I mean, they scored what?
Like 28 in a row.
It was 31-0, and then they scored 14 unanswered to make it 17 when it was a 21-point spread.
Yeah, but then I think the game ended up being like 50-30 something. Yeah. But like they covered it because I said in college it's really hard in a championship weekend to lose by that much. I like playing those bets, and like when you have Ohio State playing like Bowling Green, it's like a 30-point spread. It's kind of fun.
Absolutely.
But I'll take the Saints. Philadelphia at New York, and I'm actually very interested in this game.
Me too. I didn't bet on it, but I think I'm interested for the same reason Sammy's interested.
Couple of things. I think the Giants are never an easy game, first of all.
Especially a divisional matchup.
In New York, too. Eli is not that great. We know that. But he can have good games. Right. We've seen it. And this team can have good games. We've seen it. And it's at home, and they don't like the Eagles. And they're going to try to expose Nick Foles. But this is what I said. Philadelphia just needs to go 2-1. These last 3 weeks to keep that number 1 seed. And they play Oakland. I think Oakland's awful. We're going to disagree on that last game that I have here coming up. But I think Oakland's awful. I think they just got unlucky with some scheduling. And Nick Foles, for playoff teams, I don't know all the backup quarterbacks I've got. For the NFC playoff picture right now, they have the best option at backup, for sure. And maybe in the whole NFL.
Yeah, well, maybe. I mean, I guess he's very similar to Case Keenum. I mean, do you consider Case Keenum a backup?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Okay, so yeah, then you're right.
But then I guess Teddy Bridgewater's a good backup too. But we don't know if he's good anymore.
Right.
So Nick Foles, I think, is the best backup possible. I mean,
he won a Pro Bowl MVP before.
Yeah, he's only had one bad season with Jeff Fisher, who made Jared Goff look like ass last year, who made Case Keenum look like ass, didn't he? Case Keenum was the quarterback for the Rams.
Yes, that's right.
He made Case Keenum look like ass, too. Jeff Fisher made all his quarterbacks look like ass.
That's a good point.
And then I just thought of that right now. I was like, where did Case Keenum go before? It was with Jeff Fisher.
We got a lot of Jeff Fisher, stench in this playoffs.
Right?
Yeah.
Bunch of his old quarterbacks that he couldn't figure out. But
stench of Jeff Fisher's alive.
It is. It's alive and well. But that's kind of my point. A little weird Breach Report breaking news. It's not really breaking, but it said Cavs are reporting that they're going to keep the Nets pick and not trade it as a backup plan in case LeBron leaves this summer. It's in their heads. It's in their heads.
I love it.
No comment. We already talked about it enough, but that's a bad sign if you're a Cavs fan when the team's like, well, in case he's fucking done it before. If he's never left before, all this hoopla wouldn't be existing right now.
Right. I don't know.
Like if this was year 15 in Cleveland, 15 years straight, I think they'd be like, fuck it, trade the pick. Like he's been here for 15 years. Like let's get him a championship.
But he's not. But yeah, that's interesting news.
Yeah. I don't have much to say about this, but Arizona at Washington. $4 tickets at FedEx Field in Washington. If you live in DC.
Yeah, if you want to brave the cold weather to go watch Blaine Gabbert against your quarterback, go ahead.
Yeah. Washington has been a little bit disappointing this year. Don't blame them, though. They've lost Trent Williams. They've lost a lot. They've lost running back.
Everyone.
And Kirk Cousins is actually doing a great job for what he's been dealt with.
Oh, yeah. They're the best bad team in the NFL.
Yes. Them and I was going to say the Chargers for the most part until they turned it around.
Yeah.
But if they were like the Chargers and got healthy and had a good defense, probably be kind of the same situation. But you can't do anything with how bad their injury situation's been.
Absolutely.
All right. Game 3 out of 5 that I'm calling games of the week.
Okay.
Green Bay at Carolina. I had some extensive talks with this on my show.
Me too.
With JC on the line, and then Noah Pratt was commenting in, and I said, do you think this is quote-unquote from JC and Noah in the comments, I said, do you think they have a chance to win? And JC said, not only do they have a chance, I think they're going to beat the Panthers.
They could beat the Panthers, but here's 3 things. And I'm going to look at it away from the Panthers game, Sam. I'm going to look at it as a whole entire thing about Aaron Rodgers and will they make the playoffs. I gave 3 reasons why I think it'll be very hard for them to make the playoffs. 1, Aaron Rodgers is returning from a broken collarbone injury. And who was the last quarterback to come back early from a broken collarbone?
Wasn't it Tony Romo?
Tony Romo in 2015 on Thanksgiving Day.
I got that one. 1 for 1. I don't like questions, but I don't know the answers.
Against 2.
Against the Carolina Panthers.
Yep, and he broke his collarbone that game.
2 for 2.
That was my number 1 thing.
Number 2, the defense is fucking good.
Number 2 reason why I think it's going to be hard for the Packers to make the playoffs. They play the Panthers, the Vikings, and the Lions. 3 pretty tough games. But
okay, I didn't ask about the playoffs. I asked.
I know.
No, I know. I'm not trying to take away from your points, but I'm just saying. For me, I was just talking about this week when they said not only do they have a chance, they're gonna win, but I'm not saying playoffs.
Yeah, they could win this week. I'm gonna probably pick the Panthers. And the third reason is, let's not forget one thing about Aaron Rodgers-led teams. I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers is a rhythm quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is fantastic. But have you noticed every year the Packers start off slow? Like right now, this because Aaron Rodgers is hurt. That's why they have to make a run. Last year, 4-6, they had to win 6 in a row. 2 years ago, remember, RELAX, relax. Aaron Rodgers takes a while to get into rhythm with his receivers. I think because he's a very complex quarterback, he's a timing guy, and his receivers take a while to get that rhythm going.
He's not like a dump pass. He's not Alex Smith, like, here's a 5-yarder. He's a, like, I'm trying to make I think he's so fucking smart that he needs to make the best play possible, which whether that's a deep ball, a dump off, up the middle, like a seam route, whatever it is, to the point where, like, what you're saying is so right, where it's like he's not going to play dink and dunk. Like, he's going to play Aaron Rodgers throws. And if he's not on rhythm yet, those aren't going to – a 30-yard ball deep down the field is not going to land where it usually does.
Especially they run a lot of option routes to where the receiver will break according to the defense, and Aaron Rodgers will throw the ball where he thinks the receiver should break. And that takes timing. That takes rhythm. And sometimes it's just going to take a little bit of a while for them to actually get into that rhythm and play well. So those are the 3 reasons I don't think the Packers will make the playoffs, and that's one of the reasons I don't think they'll win this game.
I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I'll agree with you on that. But I do think they're going to win this game. I'm been openly not a big fan of Cam Newton.
I know.
I think a big game like this, if for a second Green Bay gets a 7-0 lead, or for a second Cam Newton makes a bad play, I think his emotions go downhill, and I think Aaron Rodgers will capitalize. Now, I think Aaron Rodgers is super smart, which all you're saying is correct. I think he's not going to be on the same rhythm. It does take him a long time until he really gets in that flow of the season. But I think he's smart to the point where he probably knows that about himself, George.
Yes.
So I think he's going to play to what he knows his strengths are for this week. And I think that's going to be a big difference maker. If he tries to make the plays he usually makes, I think you're right. He's first of all going to get hit too much rolling out, or something bad's going to happen. But he's going to play as smart as I know he is, and I think he'll know his limitations and he'll know his advantage points and try to make it the best he can. But it's one of the two options. And sometimes if they're playing down, I'm not going to like that either, because then he's going to have to make Aaron Rodgers plays, which if he is off rhythm, it's going to be tough. But I'm going to take Green Bay. I just have a feeling that every year, like you said, I know it hasn't happened with injury, but every year we've had a little bit of like end of the season Aaron Rodgers magic, and it makes football so much better. So I think it can happen.
Honestly, I hope I'm so wrong and they win 3 in a row and make the playoffs.
I was gonna say, I feel like you say this, but I know what you want.
I want them to win 3 in a row and make the Super Bowl against the Patriots.
Or the Seahawks.
Well, or the Seahawks. I think our defense is too depleted. But that's a different story for a different day.
Which we'll get to. I'm going to take a quick break from the schedule and answer some comments.
Absolutely.
Tyler Brightman said Rivers is a choker. And Devin said, he said, Phillips kind of did choke his career away. Could have won a chip on the right team. I'm not going to put that on Phillip Rivers. I like Phillip Rivers. He played a fucking playoff game against the Patriots with a torn ACL and played good. And I think he's never had the great...
He has like 9 kids.
Yeah.
He wants to end the season early and go home to them. That's my hot take.
Oh, yeah.
Kidding.
That's a big hot take. He does not want to go home. He wants to win a Super Bowl. Devin's going with the Bengals. He's, I'm sure the Vikings are going. He's like, I got to go with the Bengals, but I'm sure the Vikings will beat us. Devin's taking Philly, and he says Nick Foles has a breakout game. See, I feel the same way about that. I think Nick Foles is going to be really good. He's not better than Carson Wentz. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be like some stupid hot take either. Like, oh, Nick Foles is better than Carson.
They got a guy who's coming in with experience, and they're going to win the Super Bowl because Carson Wentz has never been in the playoffs.
But
you're not trying to do that?
He's going to win games.
Okay.
He'll be fine. Dane said, I just made it. How much longer is the show going? Till 4:30. And he said, talk a tiny bit about LeBron Lonzo. I probably missed it. I'll tell you what we said. Before I knew the story came out that everybody was talking about, what did he say? What did he say? I made a prediction to George on the show, and I was like, he probably said this. And George said, no, he did say that. There is evidence now. On Reddit, somebody has a transcripted
I like how we call
feed.
It evidence, like he committed some type of crime.
No, but like they got a mic on it,
right.
And this is what he said. I'll read it out to you right now. But I predicted before George told me this even exists. I was like, he probably told them like, forget the drama. I dealt with this. Like, you'll be fine. He said, find your zone and just stay fucking locked in. He said the media is gonna ask you what I told you right now. Tell them nothing. Just be aggressive every single day. It's white noise too. That is all. All right, let's go. So. As much as people wanted to hear him say, I'm coming to LA, bruh, he did not say that. Tyler Brightman said, Panthers, baby. And he said, Sammy, you are a Newton hater. He said, he's better than your boy Wilson. Not even close.
No way. Come on, my man.
Not even close. George is you're a slight Newton hater. You're a Newton hater at the quarterback position. You don't like his personality.
I think Cam Newton's fantastic, but yes, but I also think he's a front runner. But they're running in the front right now. I want him as my quarterback if we're front running.
Would you put him in the same sentence as Russell Wilson, quarterback wise?
No, but I don't put too many quarterbacks in that right now.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't think there's a chance that I would ever say Cam Newton's better than Russell Wilson.
No.
And Devin said, who are going to have in tonight's game, the claw or the beard? I'm going to take Houston. They're on a nice 11 game.
I'll take San Antonio.
I'm not going to. Kawhi's only going to play about 16 to 17 minutes, and Chris Paul and James Harden have something going.
Yeah, I just think Greg Popovich will outcoach Mike D'Antoni because that's what he does to Mike D'Antoni
specifically. And Mike D'Antoni is, I think, a top 5 coach.
Yeah, I know, but for some reason, Pop has his number.
Because he knows what they're doing. But
yeah.
Everyone knows what they're doing, but I don't think any people can analyze as well as Pop.
Right.
Devin agrees with me. He said, Newton is not better than Wilson. And Tyler said, put Newton in Wilson's shoes and he'd have around the same accomplishments. Not even close. Russell Wilson has the worst offensive line in football, the worst run game in football. He's leading his team in rushing. And he has 36 out of the 37 Seahawks touchdowns this year, which would be an NFL record. He has the most fourth quarter touchdowns in history in a season at 16, and we still have 3 games left.
Okay.
Tyler said not talking about this season. But even this season, Cam Newton's had just as good as defenses as Wilson. He has a good defense this year, too.
But I think you're a little rough on Newton. Newton's a good player, man. I mean, he's he's a huge asset to his team.
I just hate his bullshit press conference walk away. Like, I don't care if you're a dick at a press conference. Like, Greg Pop's just a dick. But he doesn't just leave. Like, LeBron's lost finals. He's been dick. Like, Kobe's been a dick at a podium. But they weren't just like, bye.
Right.
Like, okay, fucking talk. You get paid for this. Devin says Newton's ego would have gotten in his way. I agree
with that.
And especially on that Seahawks team where they let you have an ego, Cam Newton's would have been like,
oh god,
fuck. Just George would have hated that.
Yeah, I would not like.
You would not like Cam Newton on the Seahawks.
No, I would not.
With Pete Carroll as a coach, because they would have allowed him to be like,
do whatever he wants.
Be like, I'm about that action, boss. Like,
yeah.
Like, I love Marshawn Lynch as a football player. I'm not a huge fan of his media antics. And Devin said Wilson was humbled enough to be on that highlight reel super stacked defense team.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely.
And Dane said said Lonzo looks at LeBron like Kobe looked at Michael. I like that analogy. And that's what I was saying. Me and George did talk about that. The new generation of basketball is now like the brotherhood.
Yes.
Where LeBron's a mentor to Lonzo. And he said that in his interview yesterday. He said, he's like, I really like the guy. That's why I posted happy birthday to him. He said his whole like college career and high school stuff that he looks up to me and models game after me. He's like, that's humbling to me now in my 15th season to see that there's younger generations modeling the game after me. So he did pretty much say that too. All right, G.
Cool. All right, man.
We have 5 games left. 2 of them on my top 5 games of the week. So far, my top 5 games were the Chargers at the Chiefs, Miami at Buffalo, Green Bay at Carolina, and I have 2 more in these next 5. First, we're going to do Houston at Jacksonville. Not my top 5 game, but
Jacksonville. Do you got much to say about this? This team this is not much of a game.
Not much of a game, but this Jacksonville team, I knew that defense was good. I didn't know they're that good until I really watched. I watched Red Zone, and you can't watch every fucking game. I look at stats, sure, but seeing them against Seahawks, they caused Big Ben to throw 5 picks, right? They caused Russell Wilson to throw 3 picks. This team's defense, and of course, magical Russell Wilson found a way to be good in the fourth quarter, but prior to that, god damn, that defense is good. And my biggest reason for betting on the Seahawks, I said they're not going to sack him, which they didn't really much because Russell Wilson gets out of sacks, but you can basically knock them down as they were sacking him every play because he was running in circles.
Absolutely.
I'm taking Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'm just not watching that game.
Nor am I. One of my top 5 games of the week is the LA Rams at Seattle.
Going to be a great game. Look, this is a must-win for both teams as far as winning the NFC West. It's more of a must-win for Seattle because if they lose this game, it's over completely to win the NFC West.
To win the NFC West. But it's a must-win for playoff picture for both.
Right.
I saw something interesting. I did a playoff machine today. If the Rams lose, we flop spots. We get the 4 seed, and they're currently in the 3 seed, but we get the 4 seed, and the Rams would be down to the 7th seed.
Yeah, it's
out of the playoff picture.
It's a huge game for both teams, and I can't really get a pulse on this game. The Rams have been playing really well. It all depends on if our backups in our secondary and our linebackers, Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, how healthy are they? Because if they don't play, let's say Wagner's out, let's say KJ Wright's out, let's say Sherman's out, let's say Chancellor's out.
Which they are.
We know Chancellor and Sherman are out for sure. We're not going to win without KJ Wright and Bobby Wagner. It's just not going to happen. But if they're healthy, the linebackers, and the secondary steps up, the Seahawks can win.
I wonder if he's playing, actually. It's a great question. I'm taking the Seahawks.
I know. And I think the Seahawks will win. I really do. But it's They're so injured right now, and it's so hard.
Signs are Bobby Wagner will play and KJ Wright will not.
Will not. Okay.
But
Obviously, Bobby Wagner's a bigger
piece
than KJ Wright, but they're both.
I'm taking Seattle for the same reason I took them against the Eagles. First of all, one of the reasons I took them against the Eagles was 2 national televised games in a row they don't lose. In Seattle specifically. They lost Atlanta. I was like, they're not going to lose to the Eagles. But seeing the Rams lose to the Eagles with Carson Wentz out some of the game last week, and just seeing the Rams, I feel like slowly getting a little more exposed, and that's only because they're a young team. This is not because they're not good.
Right.
I just think, I've said it all year, that they're going to end up slowing down at some point. And I think this is the time where they're going to get their 5th loss. It's going to look a little not as good as it did early in the season when they were, 9-2 at one point, I think? Or no, like 8-3.
8-3.
And now you're going to get a 9-5 team where it's going to start looking a little more dim. I said it all along. I think the Rams are going to miss the playoffs by a slight margin this year, and next year they're going to be Super Bowl contenders because Sean McVay, Jared Goff, that team is coming up.
Next year, the NFC West is going to be absolutely
because Garoppolo's getting favored now at home too.
It's going to be absolutely loaded NFC West next year.
Yeah, and that Cardinals team, if they get a quarterback and they get David Johnson back, they're not a bad football team at all.
And Tyler wants to say he's only messing with us. We love you, Tyler. And where's the game at? It's in Seattle.
It's in Seattle, yeah. That's one of the big reasons. It's in Seattle. I see them winning by a 3 to 10 point margin.
This is one of your 5 bets.
Right? It is. Yeah. I have the -2.5, and I think they're going to win by 3 or more. And so I like the 2.5. I wouldn't have liked it at more than 3. I think it opened as Rams favorites, though, didn't it? -1.
I don't know. I think so.
Pretty sure it opened at -1 Rams, but I'm taking the Seahawks at home, 2.5 points. I saw them beat Philly the way they beat them with the injury problems.
I know.
And in Jacksonville, they almost came back and won that game in Jacksonville, and that was not an easy game. I like the Seahawks here, and I think the Rams are going to miss the playoffs slightly this year because of that NFC South division.
Fair enough.
The NFC South division is going to put in 3 teams.
I think one of the 2 teams, Seattle or I think both of
LA
those teams.
miss.
No, I think they both make it.
If Seattle loses this game, I don't know if they can get past those NFC South teams, but
they play
each other. But Seahawks also have to play the Cowboys with Zeke back.
Jeez.
If the Cowboys, one of the reasons we'll get there, but
if the Cowboys win out, they're in. If the Packers win out, they're in. If the Lions win out, they're like this sounds like the college football playoffs.
It's pretty insane. Yeah, I love it though. All right, another game of the week.
I know which one.
Go for it. You know what it is.
I'm taking New England -3 against Pittsburgh. Look, guys. Everyone thinks that Pittsburgh is this high-octane offense and so much better than the Patriots offensively. Let me tell you something, Sammy. Plays of 20-plus yards, Patriots have more plays of 20-plus yards than the Steelers. Red zone efficiency, Patriots. Defensively, the Patriots have been playing better. The Steelers just gave up 38 points to the Baltimore Ravens. And since Ryan Shazier went out with that horrible injury, which it sucks, their defense has not been good. They gave up a ton of points in the second half to Cincinnati. They give up a ton of points to Baltimore. And I believe without Ryan Shazier, this defense takes a huge step back. And I think the Patriots not only beat the Steelers, I think they blow them out of the water. I really do. I think it's a 37-20 Patriots win against the Steelers. The Patriots have owned Mike Tomlin and Big Ben. You want to hear a crazy stat, Sammy? In his career, Tom Brady facing Mike Tomlin either as the defensive coordinator of the Steelers or the head coach of the Steelers, 27 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
The Patriots are going to blow out the Steelers.
I'm not going to go that far.
I know you're not, but that's one of my 5 picks of the week.
What do you have, Matt?
-3.
I wouldn't mind betting that just because if they do win, I think it's going to be a 3 to 10 point game ish. So if the Pats are going to win, it's going to be by 3 or more, right? I mean, most likely.
Most likely.
So,
I think he could win by 1. And
yeah, but I'm saying most likely. It'd be like 3 or more. The reason I'm staying away from this though is I can't get a grip on this. I don't know. The Steelers, to me, I don't think they're that good, but I just cannot. I can't bet against them because I've tried to be like this guy that's telling you the Steelers aren't good all year, and they keep winning games.
They have.
Me and you both.
I moved them to number 2 in my power rankings.
Yeah, that's why it's so difficult for me. I'm just excited to watch this game with no betting implications. And I'm going to take the Pats, but I'm not going to bet on them.
Sounds good.
A couple comments. Tyler said, can't wait for Bell to torch them Pats. Going to be a good game. Dane said, I cannot wait for the game. And Dane said, that's an unreal stat, George. Damn. LOL. And Tyler's asking, what's in the can, George?
Red Total Bull. 0 Red Bull.
I think that's more like what you drinking if you think they're going to blow him out.
I know. Me and Tyler, man, we clash. We got different. We always on games. He always thinks I'm going to be wrong.
Devin thinks it's going to be a gritty game. He's got the pass for sure. Though, and he said it's the GOAT versus underrated,
That's
the most
true.
underrated QB. Yeah, a lot of people were against George's underrated comments for Roethlisberger. I wasn't against it. I just think he's properly rated-ish.
I think he's very underrated historically.
But that's probably because in my head I don't underrate him.
Right.
That's the tough part. Where it's like I can see that because
because everyone talks, oh man, the Brady Manning era. We should be saying the Brady Manning Roethlisberger era.
Yeah, I mean technically in his prime, Roethlisberger was more accomplished postseason. Why? Yeah. Postseason, he was more accomplished. I don't give a fuck. He won Super Bowls. Peyton Manning only won one as a star.
Right.
And Roethlisberger, especially in the game of football, that's like the quarterback.
And he's been doing it for a while now, since 2005, 2004.
This is why I'm not betting against the Steelers at home. Big Ben is legit.
Oh, Big Ben's legit. I love Big Ben.
And they have Antonio Brown and Bryant and Juju back and Le'Veon Bell. Fuck, they have an offense.
They got a lot of weapons. But you know what? The Patriots are very analytical. The Patriots are very sneaky. Gronkowski's back this week. They're pissed off. They just lost to the Dolphins. Their offensive line's playing well. They're gonna, without Ryan Shazier, I'm telling you, they're going to have a lot of time to throw the ball. I think they control the clock, control time of possession. Don't give Big Ben and that Steelers offense much opportunity to have the ball downfield and make big plays, and that's why I think the Patriots blow them out.
It's going to be a tough one. Mm-hmm. And Devin agrees with you on
Big Ben.
The Big Ben thing. Tyler says Big Ben 4+ touchdowns this week. I can agree with that. And Dane said, I think Luck is more like Sam Bowie instead of LeBron. Sammy, you agree? Bust alert. That's when I pull out the sign.
You guys are gonna eat your own words
when he wins 2 Super Bowls. Don't forget, Andrew Luck is going to win 2 Super Bowls.
Okay, even if he wins 1 Super Bowl, I'm still gonna eat your words.
No, you're gonna eat your words if he doesn't win 2, because you've said, I guarantee he's gonna win Super Bowls.
I believe that by the end of his career, Andrew Luck will win 2 Super Bowls. But if he wins 1 Super Bowl, you can't say he's a bust.
I don't think he's a bust. I'm just joking. Dane, I think Dane's joking too. We know he's not a bust, but.
Move off the Andrew Luck. He's not playing this year.
He's injury prone. Devin said Ben is like that dude in the cabin with a bunch of guns and gets the job done, doesn't fuck with nobody.
I like that.
I kind of like that. That is Big Ben, though. And just doesn't give a fuck about, the media attention. I don't see him in commercials. You're talking about that.
Yeah,
But maybe that's more of him than it is,
No, it's not.
Maybe he doesn't want to be in commercials.
I just think people don't really necessarily appreciate Big Ben. I mean, okay,
Put some respect on him, guys.
I'm not saying this in any, way. Look, you had Peyton Manning. He was they looked like that good old country boy and really relatable. You have Tom Brady. Everyone thinks he's a pretty boy. Big Ben is he is a pretty boy, but Big Ben's kind of people don't girls aren't fawning over Big Ben or and guys aren't like Peyton Manning. Every guy wanted to be Peyton Manning because he was like that, good old Southern Budweiser guy. And then every girl's like, oh, I love Tom Brady, and people are like, that's Big Ben. Yeah.
He's just like the in-between.
Yeah.
Tennessee at San Francisco. We both bet this game.
Yep.
Speaking
of pretty boys,
Garoppolo.
Jimmy G. Woo. He has quarterback face, and he's going to be 3-0 as the starter now.
Not a big fan of Marcus Mariota here, both of us. He's a very overrated prospect. I guess he's properly rated now. I think a lot of people this year are starting to
jump off that bandwagon.
Yeah, I think he's 10 touchdowns, 17 or 14. It's ridiculous. San Francisco -1.5. They're going to win this game. Jimmy G's the man.
He'll be 3-0 with him as a starter. He's thrown for 600+ yards in his first 2 starts.
Really? Mm-hmm. I like that. My good friend My good friend Sun Green from college will be at that game. His shout out to his cousin Aaron Wallace, linebacker, number 24 or number 52 on the defense for the Titans.
Any linebacker ever been number 24?
Number 52 for the Titans. So check him out.
Cool.
Second year in the league. So, but I'm rooting for Jimmy G. Sorry, my friend. Doesn't he look like Sun too?
Yeah, he really does.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. All right. I think there's one more game.
Yep. Oakland at Dallas. And this is the first game me and Sammy, or Dallas at Oakland. So the only game me and Sammy win against each other. Sammy, I'm going to tell you why I'm going with the Raiders.
Go ahead.
This is just, I mean, if you go read my article at SONTLive.com, you'll know why. And it's strictly a fade against the public. I think 75% of tickets are on the Cowboys, 25% on the Raiders, and the line hasn't budged. Only reason. I needed a fifth game, so that's why. That's it.
Can I tell you how bad this Raiders team is?
Sure.
Really quick. First of all, the Cowboys need this for the playoffs. I know the Raiders do too, but the Raiders are trash. Yeah. The Raiders are trash.
They'll be tied for that last playoff spot, I think, if they win.
Yeah, but the last playoff spot in the AFC is
trash.
Between the Dolphins, Bills, and Raiders and Chiefs.
And I bet you the Titans are going to lose their last 3 games and be there too.
So the Raiders, they beat the Titans. I don't like the Titans. They beat the Jets. Not a very good win. They beat the Chiefs when the Chiefs were on a 5-game losing streak.
Mm-hmm. That started their 5-game losing streak, by the way.
Okay, but they beat by one. They beat the Dolphins, decent win. The Broncos, not a very good team, and the Giants. They've lost to the Redskins, to the Broncos, who are awful. They lost to the Ravens, the Chargers before the Chargers got hot, the Bills by 20. They got blown out by the Patriots. They lost to the Chiefs last week, while the Chiefs were playing like one of the worst teams in football. I don't see any quality wins really on their schedule. Right. I don't see any. I see a couple quality losses, but I see a lot of losses that, like, hey, you guys should not be losing to Trevor Siemian and the Broncos. No,
I see that.
You shouldn't be losing to the Bills. You shouldn't be losing to the Chiefs if you're a playoff team. You shouldn't be losing to the Redskins if you're a playoff team right now. I just don't like this team. I think everything is on Derek Carr. And their defense is not very good. And I just think Dak Prescott knows he needs to win a big game with Zeke out. Mm-hmm. And I think he's going to play a lot better. And this is my favorite bet of the week, too, so I know we're going different on this.
All right, I was just about to say, out of my 5 bets, this is my least favorite.
And this is my favorite. Okay. All right, that's fair. Because last week I had something that I really didn't like that I just threw in there because I was kind of out of options. And so I get that. I'm a big fan of this. Could be wrong, but I love Dallas -3.
Sounds good to me. All right, let's go through comments and sign off for today.
We have... Dane said, Andrew Luck potential bust.
No comment, Dane.
He said because of injury, not because of work ethic and talent, though. That's fair.
That's fair, but I think they'll fix his shoulder.
Devin said hard labor, unappreciated, overrated prospect to me would be Mansell. Yeah. Maybe it turned out better than that. Dane said, I went to Pittsburgh when I was interviewing out there, and I must say, Heinz Field is one of the coolest stadiums I've ever seen. It's right next to where the Pirates play, too. I will tell you this. That Pirates Stadium, now that you're talking about that, with the bridge and you see downtown, cool. If the stadium's right next to that, fucking pretty cool place to play football. Yeah,
I'm glad they get to watch a cool place to watch their team lose on Sunday.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout, as George thinks. But that being said, is about to sign off. So visit Freshly. By the way, guys, visit Freshly and use promo code SONT, and you'll get 6 meals for $39. Just use promo code SONT on Freshly.com and get that deal for Christmas for you. If you don't like cooking, you want to eat healthy and stay fit, just do it. And check out our new website, SONTLive.com, or check out our page. I just put up my gambling picks. George put up his gambling picks in an article. We're putting up articles all day, every day. So you'll see them as Facebook instant articles on your phone, or you can go to our website anywhere else, SONTLive.com. Tyler said, have a good weekend.
You too, Tyler.
Football 3 straight days. Thank you, you too. And Devin said LeBron James. I agree.
Cool. So we've been coming at you live and direct from the SONTLive studios in sunny Everett, Washington. Thank you for tuning in today. Whether it be on Facebook.com/SONTLive, my personal Periscope at GJerjur, Sammy's personal Periscope at JerjurSammy, or YouTube.com/SONTLive Sports.
And you can always find us on iTunes and SoundCloud. Just type in SONTLive. This was episode 328, brought to you by Freshly. Once again, go check out SONTLive.com and support your boys. And check it out on the page. We'll be posting articles all day. Stay cool, everybody. Peace.